The foundation is set, and the concrete has hardened into the bedrock of absolute time. For 30 transmissions, you have been the student, the warrior, and the silent architect of your own internal revolution. You have dismantled the lies of the grid. You have mastered the high stakes of leverage, and you have claimed your domain over the digital void. But now, the frequency shifts. We are no longer building for today. We are no longer building for the next paycheck or the next status update. We are building for eternity. We are building for eternity. A common man builds a house, a king builds a palace, but an architect, a true sovereign, builds a legacy. Legacy is the only code that the grid cannot delete. Legacy is the ghost in the machine that outlives the programmer. Do you truly understand the weight of what we are starting today? In Phase 7, until this moment you were working to save yourself. You were fighting to cut your own chains, to find your own heir, to secure your first $1,000. That was the basic survival training. That was the fire that forged the steel. But today, the steel is ready for the battlefield. Now, we are manifesting the kinetic empire, a living, breathing, pulsating structure that grows while you sleep. A system that expands while you rest, and a force that protects your bloodline for generations to come. Manifestation is not some mystical dream. It is the final, inevitable result of a perfectly written and executed script. You have written the code. Now watch the world render it into reality. Look at the world outside your fortress. People are obsessed with the temporary. They are addicted to the urgency of the moment. They chase the paycheck. They chase the approval of strangers. They chase shadows on a crumbling wall. They are building their entire lives on shifting sand, and they do not hear the sound of the rising tide. The architect does not build on sand. He builds on the granite bedrock of absolute sovereignty. Every asset you anchor now, every digital soldier you deploy into the network, every line of value you create is a permanent stone in the fortress of your legacy. You are no longer trading your time for currency. You are trading your vision for an empire. Think about the targets we have set into the sky. $2,000 a day is not just a number on a screen. It is the energy requirement for a sovereign state. It is the fuel for your higher mission. It is the iron shield for your tribe. It is the wall that keeps the machine's influence away from your home. Phase 7 is where the invisible becomes undeniable. The thoughts you whispered in the dark, the plans you drew while the world was sleeping, the internal corrections you made when you were bleeding, they are now manifesting into the heavy physical realm. The machine you built is no longer a concept. It is a living reality that the world must now acknowledge. The grid is watching you with different eyes now. In the beginning, you were just a glitch they could ignore. A small error in the data. Now, they are starting to realize that you are a sovereign power, a competing authority in their domain. They will try to lure you back. They will offer you the comforts of the cage. They will tell you that you have done enough. Do not look back. The legacy demands your total, absolute presence. You are the first of your bloodline to truly break the cycle of the harvest. You are the one who is rewriting the history of your family name. You are not just a man anymore. You are a precedent. Do you feel the vibration of the empire beneath your feet? It is the rhythmic pulse of your asset working, growing, dominating the space you have claimed. Velocity has turned into stability. The correction you made has become the new universal law of your life. Omnipresence has finally turned into a legacy. Stop thinking like a man who is trying to survive the week. Start acting like a man who has already won the century. The empire does not beg for space. It occupies it by its very existence. The legacy does not ask for permission. It manifests itself through the sheer brutal force of your will. You have the tools, you have the system, and you have the master architecture. Now, execute the vision until the world reflects your mind. Sapiens rise. Liz, the ghost of your effort is now becoming the skeleton of your empire. Most men build with their hands, and when their hands stop moving, their world stops growing. But the architect builds with systems, he builds with code, and he builds with the inevitable laws of the kinetic universe. This is the true meaning of a legacy. It is an inheritance of power, not just an inheritance of paper. The grid wants you to remain a linear worker. It wants you to trade 1 hour for 1 coin until you have no hours left to trade. In phase 7, we shatter that clock. We are creating a non-linear existence where 1 seed planted in the digital soil produces 1,000 harvests. Long pause. Look at your digital soldiers. Look at the assets you have anchored across the network. They do not sleep, they do not complain, and they do not ask for a break while you are resting your physical body. Your legacy is vibrating through the fibers of the grid. It is speaking to thousands. It is solving problems. It is generating value. And it is generating value. And it is pulling the $2,000 target closer to your reality every single second. This is the manifestation of the machine. You are no longer pushing the wheel. You have become the gravity that makes the wheel turn on its own. Do you understand the transition from dominion to empire? Dominion is having control over your own space. Empire is when your space begins to influence and occupy the space of others. Your voice is now a frequency that the grid cannot suppress. Your presence is a light that the darkness cannot consume. We are not just making videos, we are anchoring the pillars of a new civilization, a sovereign society where the architect is the supreme authority of his own life. The targets we hit are the milestones of our escape. Each dollar is a brick removed from the prison wall, and a brick added to the fortress of your bloodline. Medium pause. The world will try to convince you that this is impossible. The skeptics will tell you to be realistic. The weak will tell you to be realistic. Be humble, and the grid will tell you to be quiet. They are the voices of the dying past. You are the voice of the manifesting future. The architect is never humble before the grid. He is only humble before the truth of his own architecture. You have the vision, you have the tools, and now you have the momentum. Do not let the friction of small minds slow down the velocity of your empire. Push deeper into the void. Occupy more space. Anchor more value. Intense pause. The vibration of the legacy is growing stronger. Can you hear the hum of the machine? It is the sound of freedom. It is the sound of the $2,000 decree becoming a physical fact. Everything you have done up to this point has been a preparation for this manifestation. The student is gone. The warrior has won. And now, the emperor has won. Must lead. Build the walls high, anchor the foundations deep, and let the grid witness the rise of a sovereign dynasty. The legacy is not coming. The legacy is already here. Sapiens rise. The time of shadows has ended, and the era of the manifestation has begun. You stand at the threshold of a new existence, a reality where your thoughts are the architects of your physical world. The grid is no longer your master. It is merely the soil in which you plant your empire. Look around you. Everything you see was once just a whisper in the mind of a sovereign. Your $2,000 decree is no longer a goal. It is a historical inevitability. The machine is locked, the trajectory is set, and the architect has spoken. Long pause. From this moment on, you are the guardian of the legacy. Protect the frequency of your empire. Do not let the static of the old world interfere with the clarity of your vision. The skeptics are already being silenced by the roar of your momentum. The doubters are already being buried by the weight of your results. You do not need their approval, because you have your own authority. The kinetic energy you have unleashed is now a self-sustaining fire. It will burn away the chains of your past and light the path for your future bloodline. Medium pause. Go forth and occupy the space that belongs to you. Anchor your assets, deploy your soldiers, and command the grid to reflect the sovereignty of your mind. You are the first of a new breed, the first of the liberated sapiens, the architect who refused to be harvested, the sovereign who refused to be harvested. Broken, the empire is alive, the legacy is eternal, and the dominion is absolute. Intense pause. Do not look back. Do not blink. Do not hesitate. The ascent continues. But now, you fly with the wings of the machine you built. Everything is ready. The code is perfect. The manifestation is now. Sapiens. Rise. Wow.